This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
You damn right. Ladies and gentlemen, every day you listen for at least 30 minutes on the Tom Barnard app or the Tom Barnard Show website. You can win a night in the suite at XL Energy Center to see the Minnesota Wild take on the Buffalo Sabres with Tevin and AJ. That is a week from tomorrow, February 17th. Saturday, February 17th. Listen, register, and win all this week with the Tom Barnard Podcast. I was just telling these guys that a lot of the people that I've been asking to listen to the podcast and all the rest of it, they really, really like the show. I'm not trying to bring any heat down on myself or whatever, but so far, people could not be nicer on Facebook. They've been wonderful.
Something's up. That seems a little.
I know.
You know.
Yeah. Look, just because I've got a permit to carry a gun doesn't mean you have to be afraid of me. You know.
That much kindness on the internet does not happen often. Yeah. So I feel like there's something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about.
Have you found some sort of alternate Facebook universe that we're not aware of? Yeah.
Have you read any of the postings at all?
No, I have not.
Because I'm not making it up. Everybody's been very, very well. They're all old KQ listeners. So
yeah.
You know, and they didn't know this show was on yet. It takes a while for people to understand, but yeah, you guys have been unbelievable. The people out there has been very, very nice. I also want to mention that there was a really nice article yesterday about Mark Rosen, and I've known Mark obviously since 1986 when I started working with him over at the Q. He lost his wife, who was a lovely person, very, very sweet person, a few years ago. And now Markey is remarried. A really nice article in the Star Tribune if you get a chance to read it, because Mark Rosen, even though he's full of shit, is one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. I do love Markey Rosen is as good as it gets. You guys ever work with Markey?
I've met him a couple of times, but never really worked with him.
Yeah, same.
He was aghast because in 1986, after the first 2 weeks, I think he took the third week off. He had a planned vacation or something.
Mm-hmm.
So while he was gone for the Mark Rosen report, I just brought in a blender and played that for 30 seconds. Here's Mark's report.
I'm sure he loved that.
No, yeah, he was really impressed with that one.
The first time I ever met Mark, I never realized how tall he was, because you're used to, people that are on TV all the time, they're kind of short, whatever. And I walked into the studio we were in, and I looked like, hey, it's Mark Rosen. I look up and keep looking up. And keep looking up. Like, Jesus, Rosen.
Okay, back in 86, yet again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking to one of my Italian buddies, and he says, who's that guy in your show? I said, Mark Rosen. He goes, what's that, his deal? And I said, he's on Channel 4 doing the sports and blah, blah, blah. And I said, this is going to be amazing. Nice Jewish boy, 6'6". There's a long pause. He goes, ain't a Jew in the world that's 6'6". It's like, okay, pal. Well, Mark is. I'm here to tell you.
Yeah. Did you ever party with Mark Rosen back in the day? Because he has,
yeah.
Every once in a while, he'll open up about some of the stories, because he's obviously traveled all over the country, all over.
Right.
The world, and he's got some incredible stories of just partying with God knows who.
No question. And before we move on from that, because this is going to be the Super Bowl show, obviously, we talk a lot about the Super Bowl because it's this Sunday, just 48 hours. Well, I suppose it's about, 60 hours away, something like that. Whenever it's, what time does it start?
5:30, I believe our time. Or is it 5:30?
Yeah, I think you'll have the kickoff, pregame, ramp up, warm up shows starting at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, and then but the real presentation I think is 5.
5 o'clock. The game actually starts at 5:30 then.
Yeah, it looks like it's got a 5:30.
All right.
Scheduled kickoff.
Which, in case you're running late, you don't need to speed or anything, because it's the flag presentation and the flyover and the national anthem that ends up being, if that 5:30 magically transforms into 5:47 or something like that. So don't run. It'll be probably closer to 6.
Yeah, I think that's right about. Yeah, I would probably say 10 to 6, something like that. You're right. No doubt about it. We got Kansas City. We got San Francisco. Do you guys have a favorite?
I hope Kansas City wins, but I'm not going to cry if they lose.
Right.
I just want a good game. I think the Chiefs will probably win. Patrick Mahomes is an animal, so he can kind of just win games on his own. But it really just don't be a 2 touchdown combined game. I want points. I want excitement.
Yeah.
I want phone calls by the refs. I'd like, give me something entertaining.
Some controversy.
Yes, exactly.
And I talked to his dad last night, and I said, look, could you get a 4th DUI just before the Super Bowl? That'd be great.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you have to call into whatever correctional facility? Do you accept the charges?
It makes me so sad because he's such a nice man. Patrick Mahomes Sr. is a great guy. He used to pitch for the Twins. Just a really, really nice guy. I would never picture him because he's not an idiot. He's a pretty smart guy.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he's a very smart guy. But some people just can't stop themselves. They have a couple of wheels and they get behind the wheel, man. You don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. So I hope he's okay. I'm pretty sure he's got his bail covered, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, I doubt he was in there for very long, and there hasn't been much follow-up to the story. I feel like if it's something where, oh my gosh, he was 10 times over the legal limit, that gets blasted all over social media and things like that. So it sounds like it wasn't something necessarily too egregious.
No question. Where was Mahomes drafted in I assume he was a first-round draft pick.
Yeah, I believe it was kind of mid to late.
I want to say he was 11th.
11th?
He was 11th because that was the same year that the Chicago Bears traded up from 3 to 2 to get Mitch Trubisky out of UNC when nobody else was trying to steal that pick from. They traded assets to move up one spot for a guy that nobody else was like, okay, sure, go ahead, you can do that. And I want to say he was like the 3rd quarterback, maybe 4th quarterback off the board.
Mahomes.
Yeah, which is crazy, right? It's insane.
Absolutely.
To think. But look at Tom Brady. He was a 5th round pick. So people can that shows not even the best of the best in the NFL front offices all the time know what they're doing.
Okay, explain something to me. When he was at Michigan, he was the backup quarterback, correct? Tom Brady.
Yep. Brady, correct. Yeah.
How was he the backup quarterback?
I don't know. When you look at his combine, because Brady has probably the most famous combine pictures and workouts, he didn't look the part. It kind of makes sense. Really? It looks like I would have assumed that his coaches were you don't look like you're good enough, so we're probably not going to give you necessarily a fair shakeout. And we've got higher recruited guys that are coming in because it's very political at the college.
It is.
And
do you think he was too pretty?
I think that might have been.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to get Giselle off campus.
Exactly. What were you going to say, AJ?
Just to correct myself here. Yeah, he was the 2nd quarterback off the board. So it was Mitchell Trubisky 2nd overall that year. And then no other quarterback went until he went at he actually went at 10. But then 2 picks later at 12 was Deshaun Watson. But then this draft actually, sometimes you look at it in retrospect, and you're like, that was a bust of a draft. Nobody was good. Mm-hmm. Miles Garrett 1st overall there, and then Leonard Fournette has been a pretty solid running back. Jamal Adams is there. Christian McCaffrey, who's playing against Mahomes. So 2017 draft had some talent.
Where were the Vikings in that draft in 2017? Where were we?
Funny story about what happened that year.
Let me tell you a story about
Well, actually, not too bad. We took Dalvin Cook, but we didn't have a 1st-round pick, I believe.
Yeah, 2017. That was the year they traded for Sam Bradford.
Yeah,
so they sent that pick to the Eagles. But
Sam Bradford? You traded for Sam Bradford?
We don't get a lot of things that go our way here in Minnesota.
We don't.
We struggle.
All right, well, we'll have to take a break and get away because this is the Super Bowl show here on the Tom Barnard Show. It's the Friday before the Super Bowl. It's going to be pretty interesting. Matter of fact, we'll talk a lot more about it with Phil Mackey from SKOR North right after this. Have you enjoyed Minnesota's non-winter this year? You want to enjoy the warmth wherever you want? 2 Minnesotans can help you live that dream. Matt Carlson from Realty One Group Destination Key West grew up in Litchfield, Minnesota, started helping out friends find homes locally and in Florida, and now he can help you. If you're considering living in the warmth of Florida, now's the time to reach out to your new friend in Realty, Matt Carlson. Good guy. It's a buyer's market now, and your Minnesotan friend, Matt, can help you with a new home here or in the Florida Keys. And if you need some guidance with financing, Kristen Eklund from Coast to Coast Mortgage can help. Kristen is Matt's preferred lender, excuse me. Well, leader, too. Leader and lender, actually. Can finance anywhere in Florida, like Matt is one of us, as she hails from the Sartell, Alexandria area. So, if you're looking at a new home in Minnesota, or maybe that's second or home retirement place in Florida, trust your new local friends and contact Matt and Kristen. Visit onekeywest.com, that's onekeywest.com, or call Matt at 612-791-2345, 612-791-2345, and work with local professionals that you can trust.
Recently, Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC was contacted by a company that does on-site sales. Jim was confused.
Wait, they don't know anything about us, our staff, our reputation, most importantly, our customers.
Hey, pal, no problem. We do them all over the country. You know, get the manager off the roof sale, inflatable gorilla sale, and our favorite, the 13-hour sale with a giant clock that goes to 13. Urgency, baby. We bring our crew because, well, your people are, let's just say, a little laid back.
And the pricing?
Nothing special, sport.
But Jim thought, we price competitively every day. Our prices are special. We definitely don't need these guys. But sale does convey some urgency, so he made a bold decision for his fine dealerships.
Announcing the Valley Buick GMC 365-day sale. And we can even extend it a couple years or so.
I got the air dancer guy, scratch-offs, plastic keys, bubble machine.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley or Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Hurry.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support, and to thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever when you use promo code TOM, and you get free shipping on your entire order. Get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98, and take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA. On sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com, call 800-516-5146, use promo code TOM, and you get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146 or go to MyPillow.com, and please use promo code TOM.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at TomBarnardShow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Devin, I've gotten several calls that people demand that we find a blender sound effect for the next time Sansevere is on after today.
Perfect.
Phil, I was telling a story about when I worked with Mark Rosen. There was a great article about Marky in the Star Tribune, finding love again after losing his lovely wife. She was a sweetheart of a woman. I know his new wife a little bit, but not really all that great. But great family, Marky, Rosen, all the rest of it. And 1986, when I went to the Q and worked, because Mark was already there, along with Dan Culhane, one of the greatest guys I ever worked with. Dan Culhane was a lovely man. Unfortunately, he died very young. But so Mark, 2 weeks in, had the third week off. So they said, what do you want to do? You want to get somebody else? I said, no, we don't need anybody else. Well, you got to do the sports. I said, we'll do it. Don't worry about it. So I went, it's time for the Mark Rosen Sports Report. And I hit a blender and let it run for about 30 seconds. Marky didn't appreciate that too much,
Wow.
I got to be honest.
Wow.
So the next time you miss a show, what might be happening to Phil Mackey?
I mean, I'm an Iron Man to this point. I feel like I've missed like one show. I've known Mark. I'm not as close with Mark over the years as you have been. We've never worked for the same company necessarily, but when the Wolves, this was like the first month of the Wolves season, and they were playing the Celtics in a home game. It was one of the most exciting wins of the year. Last night was too, by the way, in Milwaukee. But I sat and Mark and I just kind of like, I don't go to every Wolves game. He doesn't go. We just randomly went to the Wolves game at the same on the same night, and our seats were next to each other on media row. And like every close point in the game, we're just like elbowing each other. You know, Anthony Edwards throws down a dunk. It was the last time I saw him was 3 months ago, and we were mesmerized by the Timberwolves beating the Celtics inside Target Center. Super fun.
Boy, back when I was a lad, you couldn't get near the Lakers or the Celtics. Nobody could beat them. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun to watch all that talent. There's no question about it. But it's a big Super Bowl show today. We haven't planned for it at all. We just kind of sat down about 10 minutes ago and went, this is going to be the Super Bowl show. What do you think?
The Super Bowl show. Well, I mean, I'm excited to get your thoughts, Tom, on some of your favorite prop bets here for Sunday. Like the color of the Gatorade in the Gatorade bath. I'm wondering what your instincts are here.
I would say red.
Is it red?
Yep.
So it looks like, according to covers.com, the favorite is purple for some reason. Not really sure why.
The Vikings are not in the Super Bowl.
That's
so
the
get rid of it.
Super Bowl color that's in their logo, I think.
Okay.
Like the Super Bowl logo.
Well,
yeah.
I believe it's because it's known that purple is like a common favorite of the Chiefs sideline. So that's like guaranteed to be in abundance at the field for sure. Whereas and they look at past Super Bowls and stuff like that. So I know the Chiefs are big on like the clear /white or purple.
Okay. Interesting. So, but Tom, you got red. You're going red Gatorade.
I am because
Andy Reid.
Because both teams have red in their uniforms.
Yeah. I could see there. What about this one?
Together.
Taylor Swift prop bet here. Travis Kelce. Will Travis Kelce propose to Taylor Swift?
Propose what? That she get the hell out of his life?
Wait, what do you mean?
That thing is so fake. I'm sorry. It's the fakiest thing I've ever seen.
Well, I mean, you could at least propose to make it even. Think about this. You've already gone this far.
True,
you might as well get the extra media rub of proposing to her in front of, the biggest audience in the world.
Travis Kelce seems like a nice guy. Taylor Swift seems like a decent person for a money-grubbing pig. But no, I'm just kidding. No, they're both talented. They seem to be nice people. So whatever happens, happens. But I just, like I said, when you got football, it's kind of fallen behind in the lower demos. Not a lot of people in lower demos watch football. So this is trying to prop up the NFL. And Taylor Swift hasn't made enough money yet, so she needs to be involved.
Is she a billionaire yet?
Yes. Yes, she is.
She's a billionaire now?
Okay. I think 1.1. I remember.
But only 1 billion. So
okay.
Yeah, that's true. It's only 1 billion, not like Elon Musk, where it's 225 billion. So I got to be honest with you. If I had $225 billion, you would never be able to find me. There's no way. If I had that much money, I would just disappear, man.
Tom, if you had $200 billion, would you wipe your ass with a $100 bill just because you can? Just once, just to see what it feels like?
I just did that this morning. How did you know that? God, what a coincidence. No, I don't know. Probably not. $100 to me when I was a little kid was a huge amount of money. So it's like, nah, I probably wouldn't do that.
Yeah, you want to disrespect.
Nah, exactly. It's United States currency and all the rest of it. But yeah, I don't really have. I'm going to watch the Super Bowl because they have talent on both teams in the Super Bowl this year, which is a good thing. You can't really say that. Well, one of them's not a huge favorite over the other, are they? It
should be a good, close game. I would be shocked if there was a blowout, but it's such an interesting contrast in just how these teams have been built. So on one hand, you've got Patrick Mahomes, who I know he doesn't have the longevity quite yet because he's only like in his 7th year, but he might be the greatest quarterback in the history of football. And Joe Montana would maybe put up a fight, and Tom Brady, obviously, but you're watching this unicorn quarterback that, I mean, they literally traded one of the best receivers in the NFL 2 years ago, Tyreek Hill, and said, go figure it out without him. And he said, cool, I'll just win a Super Bowl. Imagine if the Vikings traded Justin Jefferson and said, all right, Kirk, go figure it out, guy.
Yep.
And Patrick Mahomes just carried him to the Super Bowl. And then on the other side, Brock Purdy, the quarterback of the Niners, was the last pick in the draft 2 years ago out of Iowa State. He was a 7th-round pick. He was brought in just kind of as a camp arm, and he led the NFL in multiple key quarterback categories this year, but he's making like $800,000. Patrick Mahomes is on a $450 million 10-year deal right now. So it is like the polar opposite in terms of tabbing a quarterback to lead your franchise.
I think it's going to be a hell of a game, to tell you the truth. Am I wrong? Is this just something I dreamt up one year, many years ago, in the draft, because there wasn't not a lot of great stuff left in the draft, no great players or anything like that. I think, if I remember correctly, a team drafted, because it was getting toward that holiday, they drafted a groundhog.
What?
Did you ever hear about that? It might have been just a fake story put out by somebody, but there were no good players left, so they drafted a groundhog.
That sounds like something. That sounds like something the Lions would have done, back in the 70s or the 80s.
It reminds me of the NHL draft where they used to just have no rounds. It was just like you just draft until you don't have a name on your list anymore.
Right.
the Sabres just made up a guy, and then the newspapers like wrote about it. They drafted from Japan Taro Sugimoto in like the 8th round.
See?
And then everybody's like, oh my God, why are we not scouting? And they're like, no, it's a made up guy a week later. It's not a real.
That's
It's
hilarious.
fake. I love that kind
Yeah,
but I love that about sports.
It's great. The Major League Baseball draft used to be the same, where and it kind of is, where it was a 50-ish round draft. It was either 50 rounds or they would, and it was on a conference call. So if you got to the 46th round and your franchise didn't really have anyone else on your list, you'd say, we're good. And then as soon as everyone's good, then the draft is over.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Too bad being a player and you're like waiting for your name to get called and you don't care when it is. And then you're like, okay, this could be my time. And like, pass.
It's the 49th round and nobody wants you. You should probably find a new profession.
Don't bring this up. Are you guys trying to hurt my feelings? Is that the plan?
You never got the call, Tom?
No,
Never.
Cumulus did a draft and I came in dead last, so I'm deeply hurt by that, but
Scarred.
I'll get over it somehow.
Hey, 4 words for you. 4 exciting words I have for you, Tom.
Go F yourself. No, that's only
3.
That's only 3, so that's not good.
Pitchers and catchers report.
When?
This weekend.
Yeah, baby.
Sunday for the Minnesota Twins.
I am very excited because it means spring is coming, first of all. That's the number one thing with me in baseball is that spring is coming. It's not here yet, but it's coming.
Yeah.
But since I was a little boy, because of David Anderson, my friend, and his father took us, is that the
Light,
music?
happy music.
Light, happy music, baby. Oh, good. I brought that with me over here. I'm glad to see that. I thought they'd probably try to steal it over there at 13th place. But anyway, moving forward. I can't even remember what I was going to say because I was too busy slashing other people's throats. What do you think?
Spring training, or baseball pitchers and catchers reporting signal spring.
Yeah, it's huge to me. Yeah, David Anderson and his family introduced me to baseball. He's playing in his backyard. I love baseball. Look, I'm a huge fan of all sports. I don't know a lot about hockey. Of course, I can't understand Louis Nanny as a human being anyway, and I love the guy. But, that's just hockey, isn't it?
Yeah, the guy's got scars all over his face because they didn't wear any protective masks back in his day.
Still cuts a fine figure, though. The women do love him.
Oh, I agree. Louis Nanny, good-looking guy.
He is.
Gets better. He's like wine. Gets better as he ages.
Matter of fact, I'm having lunch with him, I think, that's next week sometime. Louis and Francine, his lovely wife, no question. Phil, did you happen to, this is off topic a little bit, but it just popped up, so did you happen to listen to the last half hour of this show yesterday or see it?
I didn't catch any of your show yesterday. I was bogged down in Timberwolves Tradeville.
Sure.
Yesterday.
Oh, that's true, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you had watched it or been in the seat, because you can see Tevin and AJ and me right now, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You should have seen the look on these two Hunyucks' faces when Emma Carpenter was in yesterday. They were like...
Just... eyeballs wide.
They were indeed.
I think we hit it very well.
Oh, did you?
Yep. I looked at her like she was just the most.
You know, when Tevin was taking a drink of his water and his hands shaking like this.
Exactly.
Nice to meet you, ma'am. Yes.
Right. She's like, "Are you drooling right now?" I was like, "Oh no, I just had water." Like it's.
I actually came out of the shower.
Right.
Is that sweat pouring down your head?
Is that proof that there is no God, that a stunningly beautiful woman could kick your ass on the golf course? That's just not fair.
Well, it's fine. And they were trying to find like who could be the face of the Minnesota Golf Show, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And they pretty quickly went past the 4 of us on that list. And so what about Judd? What if we made Judd the face of? No, probably not Judd. So
Damn it.
Tom, this will make you feel, I think, even worse, because not only can she golf and is she, a pretty young lady in America today, she can sing her ass off.
Oh, I know.
Like, she sings the national anthem at like Wild games and Gopher hockey games and stuff like that. Like,
I love how Tevin sounded like a 1950s TV announcer. Yes, a pretty young lady in today's America. Yes.
I'm not gonna lie. I was like, how can I call this woman attractive without sounding like some creeper?
There's a pretty young lad. Yeah.
I don't know, guys.
It's unbelievable.
Try not to have this be a soundbite.
Pretty girls in America.
God, I'm just
But she's a very smart person, a really nice person. I mean, I like it when I don't know Emma really well. I've known her for a few months, but she has everything in life, but you'd never know it. She's a very, very pleasant person. I love that about people.
Yeah, I think I feel like we're going to see her at some point. What is she, like in her early 20s? We're going to see her in about 5 years on some national golf coverage, CBS or the Golf Channel, whatever it is.
I think it's true. Any closing argument as far as who's going to win this Super Bowl 2 days from now?
I'm 2 days ago, I predicted the 49ers to win this game, but I've regretted it for 48 hours. I think we're watching one of these dynasties happen right now with the Chiefs, where they just figure it out. People kind of buried them like 2 months ago, but now their defense is locked in, and they've got a running game and the greatest quarterback of all time. So I have the Niners winning the game, but I am almost assuredly wrong. So
okay, well, good. Well, you put a lot of dough on that pick.
That's how you hedge right there. Yep,
it is indeed. Well, thank you, sir. Always a great pleasure, and we will talk to you on Monday, the day after the Super Bowl.
Yes, and the day after pitchers and catchers get their first workout in. God. We can recap it all.
It's so wonderful. There's no question about it. Thank you, Mr. Mackey.
See you guys.
Have a great day. Phil Mackey, ladies and gentlemen, SKOR North. We'll take a break. Be right back. Chris Egert will join us right after this, ladies and gentlemen. Every new year is a chance for a fresh start, and the most profitable start you can make in 2024 is to take advantage of the business opportunities in Sioux Falls. Make 2024 your year to discover the benefits of Sioux Falls. We're hearing from Minnesota companies considering expanding or relocating to the Sioux Falls area. Minnesota business people are excited about our short commutes, safe streets, quality of life excellence. We've got the details at SiouxFallsDevelopment.com. In Sioux Falls, you'll discover a friendly pro-business attitude, along with a productive, growing workforce, no personal or corporate state tax income, low workers' comp rates, and a lot less red tape, which I love. We got great people, affordable buildings, and sites ready and waiting for your expansion plans. It's an easy decision once you look at the advantages. 2024 is the time to make your move to Sioux Falls. Visit SiouxFallsDevelopment.com.
This is Bob Sansevere, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialke from Bialke Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialke Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit BialkeLaw.com. That's BIALKE Law.com.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President and Chief Lending Officer at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Michael Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a locally owned and operated community bank, we work with many multi-generational businesses.
Take Personal Care Dentistry of Roseville, for example. Dr. Walter Hunt, also known as Painless to me, has been a longtime customer of the bank since we opened the bank in 1998.
When his son Kyle was ready to join the practice, they wanted to expand quickly.
With their additional space and equipment, they now are able to see more patients each day while providing the same level of care and service.
Okay, guys, I'll take it from here. If you run a family business or any kind of business for that matter, you should be banking with Brad and Mike over at North American Banking Company. Every time I deal with them or their team, I know I'm working with experienced professional bankers. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
And bringing you Chris Egert from Channel 5 Eyewitness News. What do you think of that intro?
You should do a book of just bedtime stories using your scary, dramatic voice.
Santa came down the chimney, and it wasn't good for the children. Yeah, I should do that. You're right.
I'd buy that.
My scary book.
Audiobook
for me.
Audiobook.
How'd you like me working for you? That's very scary. Think about that.
I know.
Terrifying. Ladies and gentlemen, Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. Mr. Egert, we got the Super Bowl in the news. We got all kinds of stuff going on. What's the latest on your front?
This morning we had a story. We didn't do enough, I think, and hopefully we're going to follow up on it today. There was a 7-year-old girl in Frogtown yesterday who I think had just gotten off the school bus and got like attacked by a pack of dogs.
Oh my God.
What?
Yeah.
Eek.
Like, and pretty seriously injured. Somebody saw it happening and came out and like shooed the dogs away. Apparently they couldn't find any of them, but the little girl went to the hospital, and God, I don't know. That just seems crazy to me
Yes.
So anyway, that was we had that today, but like there's a lot of it like we don't really know, and I'm hoping that there's some follow-up on that today. That was one of our stories. You also brought up the arson at some conservative offices that happened. I think it was last weekend, right? Yeah, on Sunday. Last week Sunday. There's a $15,000 reward for that too. FBI and the ATF are now investigating those. So I know you brought that up, Tom. So I just wanted to follow up on that. So.
Chris, I have a question for everybody on the show and everybody listening to the show. Because Kendall Qualls believes in something. Let's say I'm a far lefty, because he's conservative, very nice guy. But here's the thing that confuses me: the far right and the far left. And I don't think Kendall's anywhere near the far right. He's just a really decent guy. I called him, but he hadn't called me back yet. So Kendall, get off your ass. But here's the problem I have. Let's say that I'm a far left human being. Or far right, either one, just pick it. Why do you want to do harm to other people? They live different lives than you. You don't have the same upbringing. You don't have the same teachings. You don't understand the world in the same way. Why would you attack someone who doesn't think exactly the way you do? That makes no sense to me.
I mean, I don't know. How do you put yourself in that frame of mind that seems like the right thing to do, right? Like
I know. And then you go to the far right, and it tends to be more religious. Well, now you're really screwing up, because if you're supposed to be, have this great belief in God, why don't you accept the fact that people don't think everything that you do? Let it go, right?
Yeah.
Calm down.
They do just need to calm down.
I literally have a relative that hasn't spoken to me in 25 years because I don't think the same things that they do about politics.
No kidding.
My own brother or sister, I won't tell you which. It's unbelievable.
No, that's, very common. I remember when Donald Trump first got elected president, there was a comedian that was at the House of Comedy, Michael Malone, and he was supposed to be going on stage.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
He was like missing. And I'm like, where the hell is this guy? So I go out in the back hallway, and he's on the phone just screaming at somebody. Like I kind of tap him on the shoulder, like, hey man, we got to go. And so he hangs up the phone and he goes, well, I just ruined Thanksgiving, because he was like on the phone with his uncle or something. It was like, yeah, nobody's going to talk to me ever again because they all voted for Trump and I don't like him. Like, Jesus.
This is what I'm saying. Your own family you turn against because of the way they vote? One person cannot change an election. Relax. Jesus, Palomino.
I feel like, I don't know, when you're in that frame of mind that you can't even sit down with your family because you're so incensed over whatever they're like, I don't know. I feel like you're going to regret that someday. Like, like, gosh, maybe I should have just let that slide and maybe kind of buried the hatchet with Uncle Corey, I mean, I don't know.
It's just everybody calm down. You don't have to have everything your way, you selfish prick. And I'm talking about both sides. Relax. It's not a good, it's not a good look for young children to watch you people doing that. Like I said, I like Democrats, I like Republicans, I like centrists, but these extreme people are disgusting. You could come, honest to God, if you were on one of those, CNN or Fox or whatever, you could walk out with the golden chalice. Maybe you found one of the great things from the era of Jesus, and you walk out and it's worth billions of dollars. You're holding it wrong. It's like, shut up, for Christ's sake. I literally calm down.
Well, what I think's kind of, and this is going to go a little conspiracy theory on you a little bit.
Ooh, I like it though.
Not too much, but I
Tinfoil
kind
hat.
of feel like you remember that Bugs Bunny cartoon when the sheepdog and was it Bugs Bunny? They go both clock in at the same time, and then they'd fight each other for the whole time, and then when it was done, no, it was the sheepdog and Wile E. Coyote, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they're mortal enemies when they were, performing, but then at the end of the day, they went and clocked out, and then they were buddies again.
Yep.
I kind of feel like some of the stuff that goes on between the far right and the far left is theatrics, just to keep people interested in it versus like having some kind of like finding middle ground. It's not finding middle ground isn't exciting. It doesn't energize, the fringe of your base. But when you can get way out here and you can always create this tension, does that make sense or not?
I will tell you this, and I'm very serious about this very quickly, Tevin. I'm very serious about this. If I had chosen, because I've tried being a Democrat and I've tried being a Republican, I'm a centrist now because, and again, I got no problem against with Democrats or Republicans. It's the extreme party. If I had, with my history in voiceover and being on the radio and doing all this different stuff, if I had taken one side and I'd have probably made $1 billion, because I can out BS anybody. There's no question about that. You don't even have a chance if you get me in a BS contest. I could have made millions of dollars, but I have no interest in being that big a fraud.
Well, that's good. You've got, you've got some moral high ground there, which is good.
I'm in podcasting. That's a flat out lie.
Oh, I think there's far worse shady businesses that you could be in than this.
You might be right.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know much about the world, but I know a little bit.
A little bit there and a little bit here. Yeah, I understand that. So,
how much would you pay to go to the Super Bowl?
I would not go to the Super Bowl.
Tevin?
If the Vikings were playing, I would name your price. I'll mortgage my entire future.
You'd find the money? Yeah. How about you, AJ?
Yeah. I think football is like a bet. I think it's a more on TV, like watching sport. But like if the Vikings were in it, I would say like I could probably go up to like $700.
Would you pay $9,800 to go to the game?
$9,800. I saw that. $9,800.
$98 with 100. You're saying like that,
like just shy of 10,000.
Shy of $10,000. Yes.
No.
Yep.
Yes.
No.
If the Vikings were in
one football game.
Where I'm gonna have a beam and like obstructing part of the field.
Yes.
And I'm gonna have beer spilt on me from the guy.
Yeah. Let's assume it's not a great seat either, right? Like that's the
Right.
low end of the tickets for the Super Bowl.
And then your team loses.
Oh God! Don't bring that up from the 1970s. Don't bring that up again.
If I had $10,000 to spend on a Super Bowl ticket, I feel like I'd be spending that $10,000 on many, many other things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like if I could go to Las Vegas for a weekend and not go to the Super Bowl, $10,000 would be a hell of a weekend in Las Vegas.
Yeah. It might last you a lot. You might be out of it before the game is over, but it's going to be a lot more fun.
I think you would get many more experiences with that $10,000 than just going to one football game.
Oh God, yes. Well, you can watch it for free at home. Why would you even do that?
Well, there's that too, but
and you get a better view of the game than you would sitting way up in the stands.
Right. Well, they're trying to figure out what it's the highest it's ever been for Super Bowl tickets. And is it the Las Vegas thing? Is it the Kansas City thing? Is it the Taylor Swift thing? Like, what is it that's because these aren't, I don't know, the matchup itself. I mean, it's a
it's a good matchup, but it's not, oh my gosh, we're going to remember this Super Bowl.
Yeah, right? Like, I don't know. I always forget the winner of the Super Bowl after about a month and a half anyway. And every year I'm like, oh, yeah, that was who played in the Super Bowl last year. But
we should have a contest next year on this show, offer $10,000 to anyone who does a good job wearing a Minnesota Viking jersey into a Philadelphia Eagles home game.
Oh, God.
You want somebody to...
We're going to have a lot of lawsuits.
My best friend, one of my best friends went to that game out in Philly where we got our arses handed to us. And he's like, he goes, it's accurate. Everything you think of. spot on. I'm like, that was an experience. He's like, yep, it was an experience.
Throwing batteries at people. And
yeah,
stuff.
they got like, I think he was with. I might be mixing up some stories. They had stuff thrown at him. Like it was.
Oh yeah,
it was the whole bit.
Well, Santa got booed.
Right.
Yeah. Santa can't make it. Nobody.
Yeah. They're punching horses.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Hey, Chris, I know you got to go real quick, but there was a kind of a bizarre story. Snoop Dogg is suing Minnesota-based company Post.
The cereal?
Yeah, over the cereal.
What?
I just read a blurb about that. We didn't actually have a bit on our news this morning about it, but it's Post, right? I think he's suing Post, which is based in Lakeville.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There were some cereal names, and were they Snoop themed? Was that the deal?
I guess he's got a cereal that he makes, and he's accusing Walmart and Post of like not promoting and doing the things that they were supposed to do in their contract. So he's just suing everybody. And yeah, so Minnesota was in the news because Snoop Dogg doesn't like us.
I don't know why. I actually don't know why we didn't have a bit on that this morning, because that's super interesting.
Okay, my take on the Snoop cereal and him pissed off. Okay, this is not a spoon, but it's as close as I can get.
Okay.
So I'll be eating the cereal, blah, 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 right? Eat the Post cereal. Man, this cereal's so good, I feel like killing two people, just like Snoop Dogg. He's a murderer. Why would you want to emulate this prick?
Did he kill two people?
Yes, he did.
I don't know, but he cooks with Martha Stewart, so it's fine.
Yeah, he's beloved.
What?
He served his time.
He did not.
He was in jail, right? He was in prison.
Let me just point something out to you. If the ride is fly, you must buy. Remember he did that for Chrysler?
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
If the ride is fly, you must buy. Oh,
hey,
okay.
listen. If OJ can go golfing every day and live his best life, then
Why'd you bring up golf to ruin it at the end? That Emma Carpenter's a lot better than we are. What'd you do that for?
was that what you guys were talking about with Mackey? I didn't catch
Yes.
all of it.
Yes. Emma Carpenter was on the show. She's phenomenal on the air.
Was that gal for the Ghost?
Yep. Yes, that gal for the Ghosts.
She's
yes,
in one of the
exactly
commercials for the golf show that runs about 15 times during our newscast every day. So,
indeed, it's true. Well, we will talk to you next week, sir, after the Super Bowl.
All right, you guys. I can't wait to see cutaways of Taylor Swift for 4 hours.
Don't overreact. It's gonna be only like half the game.
Only half.
I'll be sleeping for the Super Bowl like I am every year. So
yeah, there you go. It's not a bad call, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, guys.
Have a good day. Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation. 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. We'll take a break. Be right back. Some great stuff coming up. I mean, I'm just looking at the guest list here. I mean, it's looking really, really great because they have this wonderful guest. Brandon Lang's going to be on, but he's being kind of dragged back by Bob Sansevere. It'd be a lot better, but Bob's going to be on, so kind of ruin it.
Yeah,
What do you think?
We're gonna mute Bob's mic, I think.
Just mute it completely?
Yeah.
Every day that you listen for at least 30 minutes on the Tom Barnard app or the Tom Barnard Show website, you can win a night in the suite at XL Energy Center to see the Minnesota Wild take on the Buffalo Sabres with Tevin and AJ. That's a week from tomorrow, February 17th. Listen, register, and win all this week with the Tom Barnard Podcast. Sanny and Brandon Lang up next. February is the month for love. When is the last time you gave your carpet the love and attention it really deserves? Have you gotten down on your hands and knees and adored how clean and refreshed it was? Or are you scared what you might see or smell maybe? Not only is your carpet one of the biggest investments in your home, but it's also the biggest air filter in your house. Lucky for you, Zero Res is going to spread the love to you and your home with their Love Your Rug special. Get 3 rooms, Zero Resified, starting at just $119 and a free hallway. Don't forget dirt and dander's favorite hiding place, your air ducts. This month, take $75 off when you get your air ducts Zero Res clean. Call Zero Res right now, 952-ZERO-RES, 952-ZEROREZ, or go online at zeroresminnesota.com and say you want the Tom Barnard Show special. Protect your employees and customers by getting your business Zero Resified by the pros at Zero Res. Call today for your commercial cleaning estimate. Spell it forward or backward. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Bob Sansevere joining us. Bob Sansevere Sports brought to you by Bialke Law Firm. Heard at work, Dave Bialke goes to work for you, taking care of your workers' comp injury claims and denials. Call 763-571-2410 or go to BIALKElaw.com. Tell them Bob and Tom sent you. Sandy's with us. Is Brandon ready to go as well?
He is.
Brandon Lang, ladies and gentlemen. Brandon, there's this movie that came out. It was called Two for the Money, and I was supposed to play Brandon Lang in it, but at the last second I couldn't, so Matthew McConaughey played Brandon instead. Is that not correct, Mr. Lang?
That's right, Tom. We came to you and we pitched you, and you just, for whatever reason, were involved in something and turned it down, and I thought you'd have done a great job, and so I had to go with Matt. Sometimes we just have to slum in this business, so what are we going to do?
Brandon, it's great talking to you again. Brandon used to be on the queue all the time with me in the morning talking about these very things. And very quickly, Two for the Money is about Brandon Lang, the guy who is 25-4 and 2 lifetime with the Super Bowl selections. Al Pacino plays his boss. Rene Russo plays his wife. And Matthew McConaughey plays Brandon himself. Two for the Money. You can find it on all streaming services, available on DVD. Brandon, I'm very excited to talk to you again. It's been a while, pal.
Yeah, it has. I mean, time flies. I turned 61 at the end of the month, and the movie's been 19 years since it came out, and it's Super Bowl week, and I'm in Vegas, and I live in Vegas. Super Bowl's in Vegas, and I just didn't feel like playing tour guide, so I arranged it to where I'm co-parenting my daughter, and I have her this week. When everybody said, Lang, where are we going? I want the Star Trek experience. I'm like, guys, I'm not giving you the Star Trek experience. I'm not going to take you where no man has gone before. It's not happening. It's not going to happen. I got my daughter this week. You have to fend for yourself. It's been great. It's been a great week with my daughter. Just no stress. I've had the pick and the cue since Monday, the day after the championship games. It's the easiest pick I've had to make. The numbers support it, and it's. I feel good about it. I really do. So that's what it is, and I got some great numbers for your listeners out there. And as history would show, this is a crazy stat, guys. As history would show, this is only the second time in Super Bowl history team failed to cover the point spread in their last 3 games. Made the Super Bowl.
Ooh, that's a good call. Bob Sansevere also with us, ladies and gentlemen. Sandy, you remember Brandon Lang from being on the Q Morning Show all the time, right?
Yeah, and the movie, too. It's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
You're
So,
better
Bob,
looking than McConaughey, of course.
Right now, it looks like I just retired from the NFL. I was on Radio Row for 3 days. These NFL players are walking up with big pictures of some. And guys, my arms I'm shredded for 6 months. They're like, oh man, I got to get in the gym, bro. Look at you. My arms were bigger than Jalen Smith, middle linebacker of the Dallas Cowboys. He told me, bro, your arms are bigger than me. I'm like, damn straight, my man, damn straight. So, let me finish this. This is important. The 2007-2008 New England Patriots were 18-0, failed to cover the point spread in their last game of the regular season against the Giants. They went 0-2 in the playoffs, 0-3 against the spread, went to the Super Bowl, and lost. The San Francisco 49ers were the second team in NFL history to make the Super Bowl, having failed to cover their last 3 games. Who was the defensive coordinator that beat the Patriots in 2008?
Danny?
Steve Spagnuolo. Who was the defensive coordinator on Sunday? Steve Spagnuolo. It's crazy, guys.
That's amazing.
Literally, 17 years later, the same defensive coordinator who beat the only team to make the Super Bowl, having failed to cover the points spread 3 in a row, is the same guy for the second time in history that the Niners failed to cover the points spread 3 games in a row. Can't make this stuff up.
Here's a great stat. Who's the head coach in the game who blew a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl?
That's exactly right, Kyle Shanahan. I don't trust that guy as far as I can throw him. And, you know, guys, it boils down to this. Patrick Mahomes is 12-1 against the spread as an underdog. Who's the only quarterback to beat him when he was an underdog?
Was it Brady?
Tom Brady. And in that game, if you remember that game, Brady throws an interception and the game is over. Except bonehead Houston lines up offside. Reprieve for Brady. They go down and score. Or we could technically be talking about Patrick Mahomes 13-0 against the spread as an underdog. That's how hard it is to beat this kid as a dog. It just is. And when you take that, and Andy Reid in his career with the Kansas City Chiefs is 27-4 straight up with a week to prepare. Who do you trust in a big game? Kyle Shanahan or Andy Reid?
Andy Reid.
There's your answer. Take the +2, set back, get a cocktail, and watch the Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl.
Look, I don't think anybody on this show is going to argue with you. That kid is one of the greatest quarterbacks, if not maybe the greatest quarterback ever. I guess we're going to find out as time goes by, but my God, what a talent.
I mean, let me paint you another picture. When Dan Campbell decided to go for it on 4th and 3 and passed up the field goal to put him up 17, Aaron Glenn should have took his headset off, went right on national TV, got right in Campbell's face. Dan, we've held them to 10 points in 38 minutes. 38 minutes, Dan. My defense has held them to 10 points. Dan, take the field goal. Go up 17. Because, Dan, I'm telling you, on my wife's life, that kid's not going to drive 3 times in 22 minutes to beat me. We're going to the Super Bowl, Dan. Take the field goal. Because if that happens, there's no way the Niners come back from 17 down. And we're handicapping Detroit and Kansas City. Teams that make it to the Super Bowl, that shouldn't be in the Super Bowl, don't win the Super Bowl. Guys, there you go. The Chiefs are the right side of the game. I'm telling you right now. You're not beating Mahomes. Brock Purdy's not beating Mahomes. Listen, for your listeners out there, the coaches can talk to the quarterback until that play clock gets 15 seconds in their helmet. Then at the 15-second mark, it cuts off. And he's going to go that line of scrimmage, and he's literally going to stare there and go, oh, boy, I didn't see this on film. Oh, what? Is this linebacker coming? Where's he coming? When the Giants beat the Patriots in 2008 in the Super Bowl, I talked to Michael Strahan in Vegas 2 weeks later. He said we installed 20 different blitz packages for Brady that he had never seen. Spags put in 20 different blitz packages we had never shown on film. Held Brady to 14 points with an offense and Randy Moss that was averaging 34 for the year. You think Steve Spagnuolo's not going to show this kid some things where he's like, oh, boy, we're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. I didn't see this on film. Oh, boy. 5-7. Oh, boy. What do I do now? Oh, boy. Timeout. Walks over. Kyle, I didn't see it on film. He had 4 guys coming from the right side. I'm a little confused here. You're asking Brock Purdy to execute an offense for 60 minutes against the best defensive coordinator in NFL history. Get on the Chiefs.
And, well, also you add the fact this is the best defense Mahomes has had since he started going to Super Bowls.
Yes, I'm not even talking about that. They're the number 2 scoring defense in the NFL. They're really good.
Go ahead and talk over it, will you? I don't understand.
No, we want to hear you who's calling with that great
I know
great
who's
tone.
calling, but
got scoops on the game.
So here you go.
I got to ask you a quick question. Do you even bother with prop bets, or is that something that's beneath you?
Yes, I got 3 that I absolutely love that you're going to make money on. Write these down. You're going to go 3-0. Brandon Lang's telling you you're going to go 3-0. Put him on a 3-team parlay. Number 1, Pacheco over 67.5 rush yards. Trust me on that. He's going to get that. So Pacheco over 67.5 rush yards. Green Bay ran for 132. Detroit ran for 182. They're going to be able to run the football on this defense. That's number 1. Number 2, Kelsey anytime touchdown at minus 135. I'm telling you right now, the boy's getting in the end zone, and there's nothing the Niners going to be able to do to stop it. Minus 135. Kelsey anytime TD. Just has to score at some point in the game. And number 3, Valdez-Scantlin's receiving yards are 22.5. He's their number 2 receiver. He's going to get that on one catch. Gatlin over 22.5 receiving yards. Those 3 are going 3-0. You can thank me later. Don't got to buy me a cocktail when you see me. Just give me a fist knock and say, B-Lane, you the man.
Actually, when Valdez-Scantling catches a ball, it's over for the other team. Because he's been so inconsistent. But the last 2 playoff games, he's made big catches. When he does that, you got no shot as an opposition.
No shot whatsoever. Listen, they're a different team in the regular season. But once they get in the playoffs, and Andy's able to get everybody on the same page and Mahomes on the same page, they went into Buffalo and won as a dog. They went into the Ravens and won as a dog. Their defense is playing great. I know the Niners are favored, and you kind of got to step it back and say, well, what's Vegas telling us making them the favorite? All I say is this. Vegas made the same mistake last year when they made them a dog against Philadelphia, and the point spread was exactly the same, 1.5, 2. And what did Mahomes do? Got the ball with 2 minutes to go, went right down the field, scored a touchdown, said, thank you, give me a ring. We'll talk to you later. We'll see you next year.
There you go. Brandon, you're the best in the business. You got to come back again like you used to on the KQ show. Be on this morning show as often as we can get you, pal, because I love talking to you.
Tom, I said, just schedule it and let's do it. March Madness coming up. You know I love college basketball, and I miss you, man. I miss you.
I miss you, too, and we're going to get over missing one another because you got to be on all the time, Brandon. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Tom. Enjoy the game.
Sandy, any wrap up on where are you going with the Super Bowl?
The Chiefs, because you don't bet against Mahomes. You just don't. And everything he said it makes perfect sense. No question about that. Just a quick thing, by the way, if you hadn't heard, I'm sure you did. I love Justin Jefferson. I want to break the bank. Yeah, that's a great quote. It's true. Mike Zimmer, he may be the next head coach of the Cowboys if things don't go well during the season. He's not going to be their D coordinator. And, if Jerry Jones decides to make a move in season, he could be running that team.
I agree. And I got to close with this, Bob. It just, being on with Brandon Lang. Of course, Matthew McConaughey played him in the movie. And they were once going to make a movie about me as well, but I had to pass on it because, you know who they had playing me?
Well, Rondo Hatton had passed away already.
Rondo Hatton was gone.
You always do that to me, so.
They went with Fred Gwynn. So, Fred, you guys don't even know who Fred Gwynn is, do you?
He's the Munster. He's Fred Munster. Come on.
Fred Munster. Herman Munster.
When am I say Fred Munster?
Herman Munster.
That's his brother.
Exactly. Sandy, we will talk to you on Monday.
Living for that. We'll talk a little Chiefs win.
Thanks, Pally. Right. Bob Sansevere Sports brought to you by Bialke Law Firm. Heard at work, Dave Bialke goes to work for you, taking care of your workers' comp injury claims and denials. Call 763-571-2410 or go to BIALKElaw.com. Tell them Bob and Tom sent you. Bob Sansevere. By the way, I can announce to AJ and Tevin, I will never bring my phone in the studio again. I bring it in just to look at the post that I'm being, because people email me things. But for some reason, I cannot turn that ringer off that phone. I turn it all the way down. It's still loud as hell. So I'm taking it in the other room during this break, and we'll be right back. Is his name pronounced Isambard or Isambard? Do you know?
I believe it's Isambard.
I believe it is Isambard. Sebastian Isambard, our special guest, up in just a couple of minutes. Have you enjoyed Minnesota's non-winter this year? Want to enjoy the warmth whenever you want? 2 Minnesotans can help you live that dream. Matt Carlson from Realty One Group Destination Key West grew up in Litchfield, Minnesota, started out helping his friends find homes locally and in Florida, and now he can help you. If you've considered living in the warmth of Florida, now is the time to reach out to your new friend in Realty, Matt Carlson. It's a buyer's market now, and your Minnesotan friend Matt can help you with a new home here or in the Florida Keys. And if you need some guidance with financing, Kristen Eklund from Coast to Coast Mortgage can help. Kristen is Matt's preferred lender, can finance anywhere in Florida, and like Matt is one of us, as she hails from the Sartell, Alexandria area. So if you're looking at a new home in Minnesota, or maybe that second home or retirement place in Florida, trust your new local friends. Contact Matt and Kristen. Visit onekeywest.com. That's onekeywest.com, or call Matt at 612-791-2345, 612-791-2345, and work with local professionals you can trust.
Recently, Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC was contacted by a company that does on-site sales. Jim was confused.
Wait, they don't know anything about us, our staff, our reputation, most importantly, our customers.
Hey, pal, no problem. We do them all over the country. You know, get the manager off the roof sale, inflatable gorilla sale, and our favorite, the 13-hour sale with a giant clock that goes to 13. Urgency, baby. We bring our crew because, well, your people are, let's just say, a little laid back.
And the pricing?
Nothing special, sport.
But Jim thought, we price competitively every day. Our prices are special. We definitely don't need these guys. But sale does convey some urgency, so he made a bold decision for his fine dealerships.
Announcing the Valley Buick GMC 365-day sale. And we can even extend it a couple years or so.
I got the air dancer guy, scratch-offs, plastic teeth, bubble machine.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley or Hastings, or valleycardealers.com. Hurry.
This is Bob Sansevere, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialke from Bialke Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialke Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkelaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
You are indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Is Sebastian ready to go?
He is.
Sebastian Isambard. Is it Isambard or Isambard, Sebastian?
Isambard. Thank you.
All right, perfect. Works for me. Sebastian Isambard, ladies and gentlemen, 20th anniversary album, Double X, 20th anniversary album, available for fans worldwide on February 9th, 2024. So that would be, ladies and gentlemen, today. So you are good to go. The album can be ordered online. It will also be available as the first ever vinyl edition of their career. Sebastian, what's the latest?
Well, good morning. Latest, we're here in New York, and we are really proud of how far we've come. 20 years together is kind of a huge achievement for us. We've been doing some promo for this release of the album. We are going to go to Barnes & Noble to do some signing here in New York at noon on Fifth Avenue, I think. And this is going to be just wonderful to be all together. We celebrating this amazing record, and we're going to be touring this Double X album through the U.S. in July. So what else can we ask for? We're pretty blessed.
No question. Well, you guys do an amazing job. Il Divo is a multinational classical crossover vocal group. Il Divo was created by and promoted by Simon Cowell. And I love the fact that Simon Cowell calls his label Psycho Music, SYCO. Sebastian, I like that a lot. You know what I mean?
That he called his label Psycho?
Yeah, SYCO, Psycho.
Simon and us have departed ways in 2015. We felt, that we were kind of not bringing each other anything at that point, and we decided to open our own record label, do things ourselves. And he's very supportive and
good. Really
proud of what we achieved as well.
And he came up with Psycho Music, so that's good, right?
Exactly.
It all works out. How did Il Divo come together, Sebastian? I mean, I'm running down the list of names. How did you guys get together in the first place?
Well, Simon is actually the one who had the idea of putting the band together.
Right.
He heard the three tenors, and it was like, let's try to find people. It was not through TV. We just had people scouting around the world and trying to find singers. It took him 2 years to put the band together, and in 2004, we formed Il Divo, went straight into the studio, and started to record music, and the rest is kind of history.
You know, Sebastian, it's interesting because I was in a band when I was 11 years old until I was about 19, and then I had to get a real job. But I want to ask you a question, Sebastian. You know, you are a singer, so you might answer it the same way that I would. Guitars are beautiful, pianos are beautiful, so many instruments are beautiful. But is there anything better for music than the human voice?
Is there some, you know, this is just more a question for each individual in life.
Yeah.
Is there a better instrument than voice? I think it's a hard one for me to answer. I love playing piano and I love playing guitar.
Sure.
But the voice, you know, what's interesting with the voice versus instrument. So a guitar, you could tune it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the guitar has a bad day, you can still make it sound like perfect. But the voice, if you have a bad day, didn't sleep, or you have a flu or something, it's not going to sing perfect at all. So what's the voice is really linked to the body, really, the state of mind, the healthiness of the body. That's where I find that part of, as an instrument, being the voice, a very interesting but also challenging one.
Yes.
Because you can't really fake it. You can't mask it. You can't get it perfect. So it requires for me to look after myself, do a lot of good self-care in order of, you know, after so many years, knowing how to take care of my instrument, which is my voice. So it's a very different approach to other instruments. I would say that I love voices because there's nothing that could be hidden. There's no trick to it. You know, it's really raw.
You know what's amazing about that? And the reason I ask you that, Sebastian, is that I am a huge fan of the vocals. You take a song like Nessun Dorma, and it means no one sleeps. And it's a wonderful song about how this guy, no one can sleep until you know how much I love this woman. An instrument cannot do that, but Sebastian Isambard can, correct?
Well, I don't know if I can alone, but as a band with myself, I definitely can.
It's a wonderful thing. There's no question. I have enjoyed you guys for 20 years. I remember, where was the first time I would have seen you? Because I remember seeing you years and years and years ago. Do you remember your first national television appearance?
In America or
in America?
Worldwide? Yes. In America, I think, you know, bizarrely enough, and that's going to sound really snobbish, I think it was Oprah.
I think that's right.
Yeah, it was Good Morning America, Oprah, one of these TV, and I remember thinking, I had no idea. I'm French, and I came here in the States to promotion for the first time. So you could have sent me to QVC or anywhere, you know, like I had no idea what Oprah was. And everyone was making such a big deal out of it. They were more stressed than I was. And I remember just going, and for me, it was like doing another TV. And I'm so lucky because if I had known how big it was and what big of a show it was, I think I would have been stressed out to do a first TV appearance here in America. And what an amazing memory, even just to think, wow, we were able to do such big TVs.
Yeah, no question. And it was actually great, Sebastian, that you didn't really know who she was, because that'd be a little stressful, I suppose, coming out realizing that millions upon millions of people are watching that day. But you pulled it off, so that's great. It's wonderful. You guys do a great job. Are you still touring?
Yes. We're still touring, you know, and even more so with this 20 years, with this Double X album that celebrates our 20 years together as a band. We'll be taking that throughout the U.S. in July, probably more dates along the way. And all the dates can be found on ildivo.com, ildivo.com. And that's something that we feel, recording an album is a way to promote what we do really nowadays. It's not like the way it was where people were making money on records or anything. For us, it's more like a presentation. And we find that we have such great joy when we take that live on tour, because that's where I feel like things really take place and start to come alive, actually. The studio is just a very different approach.
Well, Sebastian, I'm hoping, I've not looked at the complete schedule yet. I'm hoping you're coming to the Twin Cities. And if you come anywhere near the Twin Cities, please do come on again at that time. I'd love to talk to you again, sir.
That would be great. We would love that. Absolutely.
Sebastian, have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for being with us. Congratulations on XX's 20th anniversary album for Il Divo. If you've never heard them, you better wake up and go see them, because they are phenomenal. Thank you, Sebastian.
Thank you so much for your support, and to all the listeners.
Thank you. Sebastian Isambard, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes. Kristen Burt will join us right after this. February is the month for love. When is the last time you gave your carpet the love and attention it really deserves? Have you gotten down on your hands and knees and adored how clean and refreshed it was? Or are you scared what you might see or smell, maybe? Not only is your carpet one of the biggest investments in your home, but it's also the biggest air filter in your house. Lucky for you, Zero Res is going to spread the love to you and your home with their Love Your Rug special. Get 3 rooms, Zero Resified, starting at just $119 and a free hallway. Don't forget dirt and dander's favorite hiding place, your air ducts. This month, take $75 off when you get your air ducts Zero Res clean. Call Zero Res right now, 952-ZERO-RES, 952-ZEROREZ, or go online at zeroresminnesota.com and say you want the Tom Barnard Show special. Protect your employees and customers by getting your business Zero Resified by the pros at Zero Res. Call today for your commercial cleaning estimate. Spell it forward or backward. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Landon and Gavin Miller of D&B Plating.
I've always been impressed with their speed of answers to our questions, and that has allowed us to expand and capitalize on opportunities in the market.
North American Banking Company has never made us feel like a number. They've always treated us as a partner.
For more information about North American Banking Company, go to nabanco.com or stop by any one of their Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The new Tom Barnard Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw & Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner. This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
You horn tootin'. Every day that you listen for at least 30 minutes on the Tom Barnard app or the Tom Barnard Show website, you can win a night in the suite at XL Energy Center to see the Minnesota Wild take on the Buffalo Sabres with Tevin and AJ. That is a week from tomorrow on February 17th. Listen, register, and win all this week with the Tom Barnard Podcast. Kristen Burt Entertainment News is brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. I don't know. Tevin, AJ, what are we going to do about the drop-off in talent going from an opera singer to Kristen Burt? I mean, how should we handle? Oh, wait a minute, she's already up on the screen.
Here's what I'll say: is we don't know Kristen's opera singing ability yet.
Yes.
So
Can you give us a little note?
La 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 la.
It's not the same. It's not
Like I said,
No, you're no Usher.
Oh, he
All
goes
right, yeah.
right to Usher. Good God.
Well, of course, we're talking Super Bowl because this is the weekend. We'll find out how much Taylor Swift dominates this Super Bowl, but
Yes.
let's talk Usher because he is the halftime show, and he has promised that Taylor is not guest starring in his halftime show, but he is teasing guest stars. So who do you guys think may be in there?
My first guess is Lil Jon. Like it has to be.
Has to be, right?
Right.
I
AJ,
feel
do you
like
have a
Justin
guess?
Bieber, maybe.
Yeah, because they did. They had. I mean, Usher kind of worked hand in hand with Justin Bieber's career, so that would make sense. Yeah.
Well, I'm just looking at like the sports books right now. The favorites to appear with him are Alicia Keys and Ludacris, and then Lil Jon, P. Diddy, Nicki Minaj, Marshmello, Pitbull, will.i.am are like the top picks to maybe join him. Do you have an inkling of like what you think, Kristen?
I think Lil Jon is definitely a good guess. I wouldn't be surprised because I think Justin Bieber's coming out with like new album and new music. I wouldn't be surprised if he made a cameo. Alicia Keys, got to throw a woman in there. We gotta represent. I think Diddy completely off the list, untouchable right now with his sexual harassment lawsuits. No way.
Okay.
For sure. Ludacris, I think also would be a possibility. But I think here's the other thing I want to say. He said he also wants to do like a good sort of mix of stuff to honor R&B. I'm like, who are we missing off that list that wouldn't be so obvious that maybe sort of like an R&B star, maybe a throwback?
You mean like Stevie Wonder?
Could be.
Do you have inside information?
I don't have any inside information, but I'm just saying during his press conference for the halftime show, which they do every single year, he did tease he's like, people who are R&B fans, hello, Tom, wouldn't be disappointed by this.
Oh, well, so who could it be?
Who could it be? So I'm just saying, like, let's throw out the possibility that someone maybe old school is making an appearance too. Because people like to do that. Like, you expect the unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
And he did manage to get an extra 2 minutes on his set. Normally, they only get 13 minutes for the halftime show. He got 15, which I know sounds like nothing, but it's everything. Because remember, they're mixing their songs. They're blending their songs. So he's trying to cram in as many of his hits as possible.
So, okay, so you're saying that you think he is going to try to do like as many songs as possible and not like do extended performances?
Yeah, if you remember, take a look at some of the halftime shows. You'll notice that they'll do not the whole song. They'll do like a whole song that blends into the next song to maximize their time there. Because remember, they're not being paid to appear at the halftime show. They are donating their services.
Right.
So how do they sit there and get an old song back up the charts? Now, obviously, Usher has a new album coming out. He has a tour coming up. General ticket sales will be available on February 12th. So he's hoping that will leverage as many people to buy tickets. But they are going to try and cram in as many songs as possible.
So just hypothetically, 10 or more songs, you think he's going to?
You've got 15 minutes. I'd say 10. I think 10 songs is legit.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And here's the thing too. I mean, you have to, if you go and look at like the statistics of the songs that he's played the most in his concerts. Yeah, obviously. I think he'll open with that, right? Do you think?
Yeah, it's got to be open or close. And I think OMG would be the other one because it's got to be that upbeat type of thing. And then you mix in your My Booze, Alicia, like Let It Burn or anything with Alicia Keys kind of in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, you open and close with one of those, and they bookend each other. I think you're exactly right on that. And Oh My God is the third most played song that he puts on his set list. You Remind Me, You Don't Have to Call, You Make Me Wanna. I'm just trying to think. Those are, and Everyone Wants Confessions Part 2. Shockingly, it's number 13 on his set list.
Interesting.
Isn't that interesting? But I feel like that's a guaranteed song in the halftime show.
Yeah, well, because that was like that broke every Billboard record and it stood for like, decades.
I'd be a little upset if I went to an Usher concert and he didn't play that.
And that's one that you almost have to play the whole song. Like that extra 2 minutes better just be so you can play the entire Confessions so everybody can just cry, sing the song. Yeah.
100%. And people might forget Usher's a really good dancer. So I'm expecting like a pretty big display of like dancers on the field and on stage. Which, by the way, I don't know if people realize this. The dancers on the stage get paid a different rate than the dancers on the field. Did anybody know that?
Oh,
I did not. Is it like a substantial
It's a substantial difference. So a couple of years ago when the Super Bowl was held here in LA, every artist like brings out their dancers, the ones that tour with them, do the music videos, all that stuff. They are paid the regular SAG-AFTRA rate for appearing on television. So in Los Angeles, they were offering dancers to volunteer their time to dance on the field, learn some choreography. It would be a 2-week gig that you would be paid for. Get nothing. I mean, I think that they were like, we'll cover a meal for you and parking. I mean, like it was nothing. And Jay-Z helps co-produce the halftime show along with Apple. And people are like, whoa, 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 whoa. You cannot not pay these dancers, even if their level of skill is maybe different than the dancers on the stage and they're learning easier choreography. We're not talking about free labor anymore. No, because they're not selling a bunch of tickets or a bunch of music the next day to make a ton of money like Usher will. So it got to be such a big debacle that they made your minimum wage. And so now the NFL pays minimum wage to the dancers that dance on the field. And that's going to depend on city to city or state to state. So if they had been here in California, they're going to make a lot more than they would in Nevada.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now to bring this whole thing to a new height. Tim Lammers, brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyer seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Timmy Lammers, Kristen Burt. My shock would be, you know what I would do if I were Usher?
What would you do?
I would cross many bridges and surprise everybody by bringing out Paul McCartney.
Ooh.
Can you imagine if he did that? What a shock that would be.
He's done the halftime show before, though.
I'm just talking about in this crowd, though.
Yeah.
It doesn't, I don't think Usher and Paul work. Somebody else,
Paul's
though.
actually talented. Is that the problem?
Well, he's very talented, but I don't think that their music blends well together. So you have to, who would you bring? Like you would have to bring somebody else.
Well, you know,
that's why I said old school R&B is coming in, I think.
You mentioned Stevie Wonder. That would be awesome.
That makes sense to me. And that's that would be a great get if he did that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, first of all, I should say, bring in Billy Joel. Turn the lights back on, baby. That's what I say. He's only ever done the national anthem. I don't think he's ever performed at halftime. And
he's done the national anthem twice, by the way.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, at this point, I mean, he's going to be 75 in May, I believe. Back in the day, man, he put on an energetic show. I saw him 4 times prior to, between 82 and 89. And he was a hell of a showman. But, obviously he can't afford to be jumping up on his piano anymore without risking some sort of injury. Yeah, well, let's just be honest. At this
you don't
point,
want to break a hip either. That's like that's the downfall of everybody. You break a hip and then you get pneumonia and then you die.
Yeah. So I've been loving this new song of his, though. I mean, it is vintage Billy Joel. So I'm like Tom. I'm sitting there watching you guys talking about Usher and Little John and all these people, and it's like my eyes are glazing over. Okay, who are these people?
Who are these?
Usher to me is very like.
I mean, I know who Usher is, but
yeah, I don't even. I mean, Usher is now doing like a Las Vegas residency. He's going to tour after this, but I don't feel like he is as present as he was over a decade ago.
Yeah. And you know what? He's a decent actor too. He was in he played Sugar Ray Robinson in a movie. And I'm trying to think which one it was. It was a supporting role, but he was pretty good. So you talk about 80s and 90s old school. That's what you're trying to get with Lisa Frankenstein. Have you anybody in this room desire of seeing Lisa Frankenstein?
I had just heard about this yesterday.
I like Diablo Cody.
Diablo Cody, her writing was terrific. Obviously, Oscar-winning writer of Juno. Here, I just have to be straight up with you. It feels like a bad 80s and 90s teen rom-com, except for with a horror twist.
I'm probably all in on this, but for streaming. Once it
yeah. You know what? It just feels too. The timing isn't great because you have Poor Things, which is about a reanimated corpse like this one is. And I don't know if you've seen Poor Things. It is a bizarre movie. I mean, it's depraved lunacy. This movie is just
crazy. And I'm still trying to figure out what in the hell it is with the Academy why they're embracing it. But anyway, that's another conversation for another day. This one, again, like I say, it's just a throwback movie. It's actually set in 89. This goth girl can't fit in the new school, so she hangs out in a graveyard. Lightning strikes the grave. A corpse becomes reanimated from the Victorian era, from the 1800s. It's Cole Sprouse from Riverdale. And he's missing a few body parts. He's missing his hand. He's missing an ear. Time has not been nice to his corpse in the grave. So they need to get live bodies, parts from live bodies to help reanimate him fully and bring him whole again. So that's your basic, your description of the plot line here. But again, there's nothing worse than sitting in a theater where they're just forcing the comedy at you. They're trying to be funny, even though the people in it are so talented. And again, no question that Diablo Cody's a great writer. And I think towards the end, we kind of get her wickedness in there. It just takes too long to get that. It feels old school, lame comedies, the bad rom-coms of the era, not the great ones. So unfortunately, Lammerhammer on this one, 3.5 out of 10 for Lisa
What was the running time on it? Because you said it took her a while to get there.
Yeah, and it feels like a long time. I mean, it's like an hour and 40.
Oh, and it feels long. That's not good.
Yeah, and it's the second part of the third act where you kind of start to feel that wickedness, which I really liked. And, Cole Sprouse, I mean, he doesn't have dialogue almost the entire film. So he's Frankenstein, basically. He's grunting and groaning and everything like that. But he definitely has a presence. And as, because the corpse comes out of the grave just gnarly looking, but as it gets its parts back and gets a little charge of life with every time he gets something attached, they put him in a tanning bed. So 80s and 90s, they give him an electrical charge. And so he becomes more handsome. So by the time he gets,
that's kind of funny.
Yeah, that's funny. I mean, I like that idea. But that by the time he becomes fully reanimated, and what he's wearing in particular, and the suburbia that he's in, it almost feels like he's channeling Johnny Depp and Edward Scissorhands, which is kind of cool. I mean, but you get that far, far, far too late. So it's like, oh my God, it seems like you've wasted so much time on stuff that doesn't work. And then when it finally works, the movie's over. So yeah, sorry, Lammerhammer on this one.
That'll happen. Now, we only got 1 minute left, so bringing it back to football, I can already tell that I have to pee at halftime, so I won't be able to see the show. I can feel it coming on.
You love R&B. I don't know, what is your problem?
Is it really going to be R&B, though, or is it going to be the modern-day version of R&B?
Usher, I would say Usher is like the closest thing to Tom, your golden era of R&B that you will find after your favorite artist was famous.
Tell you what, I'll watch the halftime if they bring back Marvin Gaye from the grave. What do you think?
Yeah, it's Lisa Frankenstein treatment.
throw him in a tanning booth.
Okay, I will follow your lead in this one. I will try to watch the halftime show, but if they brought back Rapper's Delight, I would listen to that.
We love Rapper's
Because the
Delight.
chicken tastes like wood.
Quick alternative streaming. Tom, I know you've seen at least one episode, but Feud, Capote versus the Swans.
So good.
Phenomenal.
And as I mentioned on the Tuesday show, Feud, Betty versus Joan is one of the best series of all time to me. I love that. And they capture the magic again in this one. God, it's a great
cast. The cast that he brings together for some of his shows.
Yep.
Ryan Murphy does a great job.
Oh, unbelievable. So great. It's on FX now or FX on Hulu. So basically you'll stream on FX and then the next day it's on Hulu, and it is terrific. 3 episodes so far. I hope there's more, at least 8. I can't remember.
It's
Betty.
8.
It is 8. Oh God. So Tom Hollander is phenomenal. On top of it, like you say, the great cast.
All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to watch the halftime show on the Super Bowl, and if I don't like it, you're all fired. What do you think of that?
Well, we're going to talk about it on Monday, so you better do your homework.
Whoa. I didn't make any suggestions about that. I'm the movie guy.
That's true. You're the movie guy.
I just gave you feud. Come on.
Tom keeps on getting in trouble over homework because I was like, you have to watch the We Are the World documentary, The Greatest Night in Pop.
That is great, by the way.
Loved
That
it.
is great.
Yes.
Absolutely loved it. Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Lammer is brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyers seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at Minnesota Personal Injury. That's MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. And Kristen Bird Entertainment News is brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Okay, we'll start with AJ, then Kristen, then Tim, then Tevin. Go from right to left. What do you got, AJ, in the Super Bowl?
I've got the Chiefs, maybe like 31-27.
31-27. Kristen?
I've got the Chiefs, and I'm going to go 28-20.
28-20. Bob? Not Bob.
Bob.
Tim?
I'm Bob. Come on. No. I'm going with the Chiefs as well. And yeah, high scoring game. I'm going to go 35-28. Although personally, I'd love to see Brock Purdy win just because it's a great story. But yeah, Chiefs.
Yeah, it is a great story.
Too strong.
Yeah.
Good point.
Give me the Chiefs, but more importantly, give me Alicia Keys to make a surprise visit during the halftime show, and purple Gatorade gets dumped on the winner.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, we'll all be there. What the game times are? What you say about 5:40 on Sunday night?
Yeah,
right?
they say
Or Sunday
5:30.
afternoon.
By the time they get rolling, probably 5:45.
Oh my
Sounds
God.
What was that?
That's Usher. Come on.
Perfect Usher rendition, yeah.
As Tim and Tom's eyes glaze over.
I go, what is that? Yeah.
Marvin Gaye, baby. Bring back Marvin Gaye.
Marvin Gaye. Nobody better ever. Does Usher do some R&B?
He is R&B. He's an R&B artist.
Well, maybe I'll listen to him over the weekend because as long as it's R&B, I'll listen to it. But if it's
His music is great. It
I have
really
to correct myself. I said Sugar Ray Robinson. Sugar Ray Leonard.
Sugar Ray Leonard.
He plays Sugar Ray Leonard in a movie, and it's just bothering me. I can't.
I
think
could
of which
see
movie.
that.
It's close
He was
enough.
really good. He was really good. Yeah.
Don't worry about a thing. Okay, so I'm gonna watch the halftime show, and again, if I don't like it, you're all out.
I
Forget
can't
it.
wait till Monday when you go, that was terrible.
Yep.
That's my prediction. Tom's going to go, the halftime show was terrible.
He's going to text it. He's not going to wait till Monday to fire. He's going to text us all at halftime after it's over.
Kristen, how long you and I been working together now?
Since 2012, September 2012.
So you're probably right. I'll go, it's terrible. Since I left Facebook and now I'm back on Facebook. I left right after you started on the show, I think. Left Facebook, I mean, or social media.
I found so everyone sent me your account, by the way. All of your listeners are like, this is the link. And I'm like, oh, good, I'm not
All
blocked.
of the listen. There are thousands of people that have reached out over the last 4 days. It's unbelievable.
You got to start posting a day in the life of Tom Barnard.
Post your reaction video to the halftime performance on Sunday. That's what you need to do.
Yes.
That would be big. That would be
Also,
viral, baby.
I want to see your snacks. What are your Super Bowl snacks? Video that too. I love Super Bowl snacks.
Oh, God, yes. Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. We'll stay on top of it. We'll all be back on Monday. All of us will be back to talk about the Super Bowl, which happens this Sunday. All right, it sounds like everybody's picking Kansas City to win, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm picking Taylor's team.
Oh, God, I almost got out on time. I almost got away without hearing one word about Taylor Swift. But no, I'm going to go hang myself.
Kristen, you're such a Swiftie. You're a
Swiftie.
Such a Swiftie. I'm not. I don't even own a single song of hers on my playlist at all.
So you did it to annoy me.
Absolutely. That is my job.
Okay. All right. We'll see you Monday. That's going to do it. Thank you.
Yeah.